You're listening to This Magical Life, a podcast dedicated to exploring the depths of spirituality and personal growth. Hello, welcome. It's always interesting to think of the opposite time of the year whenever you come to one of these 8 festivals. It's really fruitful just to tune in to the completely other side of the wheel, what our friends on the other side of the world are experiencing now, which is the winter solstice. And in fact, Anastasia is saying happy winter solstice from Aotearoa. Happy winter solstice to you, and Australia as well. So that's great. So happy winter solstice to you. And one of the commonalities is that they're both called solstices, which comes from the Latin solstitia, when the sun seems to stand still for a few days and rises at virtually the same place each time here. And there's an interesting thing that happens at the solstice is there's a period of shifting of energy. So at the winter solstice, days start to grow longer, the energy increases as more and more light reaches our bodies and reaches the earth. There's a kind of increasing intensification as we move towards the period of growth. Then it shifts at the solstice and it moves into a period of dispersion, of giving. So you could say in one way that the movement from the winter to the summer is one of focus, increasing focus and intensity on growth and birth. And then the movement from the summer around to the winter is one of giving, of generosity, of abundance, of letting go, of diffusion as opposed to focus. So completely different. And yet, of course, all part of one harmonious cycle. So at both the solstices, there's a kind of pause, a time of recalibration, where it's as if the earth and us, if we allow ourselves, can kind of take a deep breath and then shift into this new movement, this new part of the cycle. So there's a peace in both solstices. There's this deep peace, a deep sort of settled sense that you can find, I believe, at the heart of the experience of both the summer and the winter solstices. So we'll do a meditation in a little while, but I just wanted to really take 5 minutes to say what I've been feeling today, because today it's been raining, it's cold, we've had some glorious weather for a few weeks, and now it's really wintry again. And we drove along the coast, and the coast was covered in mist. You could hardly see the sea or the cliffs. And it struck me when I was sitting down to think about what I could share with you this evening, is that, I have a huge desire and tendency to go for clarity, to go for elucidation, for clarification, for articulation. And I really have to remind myself that it's okay to allow the mist to descend or to rise up. It's okay to be in the mist. And in fact, it's in the mist that new forms can give birth and new inspiration can come. And the mist is a powerful image in the old Celtic stories. It depicts liminality, this concept of liminality. And of course, it's a powerful image too of dropping down from the rational mind into what should we call it, the unconscious, into the collective, into the Arwen perhaps, into the cauldron of all being. And of course, poetry is a beautiful way to work with this. And this is the poem that I decided that I would like to read to you. It's just so beautiful. And it's by Pablo Neruda. It comes out of a concern that I've had. I'm reading quite a lot now, and I don't know whether you have this experience, but you read a whole book. It's full of fascinating information and facts and ideas. Then you'll maybe meet a friend a couple of weeks later and they'll say, oh, what have you been reading? Or you share with them what you've been reading. And there's so little left in your conscious mind. There's so little left. It's all there, I guess. If you could be hypnotized, you could pull out the stuff, and it's all worthwhile, I believe. But so much goes into this forgotten place, this place of the mists. So let me read to you now Births by Pablo Neruda. We will never have any memory of dying. We were so patient about our being, noting down numbers, days, years and months, hair, and the mouths we kiss. And that moment of dying, we let pass without a note. We leave it to others as memory, or we leave it simply to water, to air, to time. Nor do we even keep the memory of being born, although to come into being was tumultuous and new. And now you don't remember a single detail and haven't kept even a trace of your first light. It's well known that we are born. It's well known that in the room or in the wood or in the shelter, in the fisherman's quarter, or in the rustling cane fields, there is a quite unusual silence. A grave and wooden moment as a woman prepares to give birth. It's well known that we were all born, but of that abrupt translation from not being to existing, to having hands, to seeing, to having eyes, to eating and weeping and overflowing and loving and suffering, of that transition, that quivering of an electric presence, raising up one body more like a living cup, and of that woman left empty, the mother who is left there in her blood and her lacerated fullness, and its ending and its beginning and disorder, tumbling the pulse, the floor, the covers, till everything comes together and adds one knot more to the thread of life. Nothing remains in your memory of the savage sea which summoned up a wave and plucked a shrouded apple from the tree. The only thing you remember is your life. And that's called Births, and it's from a collection, Fully Empowered, by Pablo Neruda, translated from Plenos Poderes in 1962. Sorry. Okay. So let's go into a meditation from there. Let's just be aware of ourselves seated in front of our screens. Aware of ourselves individually seated in front of screens, but knowing that mysteriously and wonderfully we're part of a collection of beings, 342 of us at the moment, all at this exact same moment in time, around the world, being conscious of being in front of our screens, and yet at the same time allowing ourselves to sense that we're walking through some woodland to arrive in a clearing just before dawn, finding a place, being seated, perhaps sensing colleagues with us, Perhaps even allowing this clearing to become instead the side of Glastonbury Tor. Let's all be seated on the side of Glastonbury Tor now. Small hill, but which has such a wonderful panoramic view across the countryside. And it's just before dawn on the morning of the solstice. And as is so often the case with the Somerset levels, there's a mist on the land. And so when you're sitting on Glastonbury Tor, it can often be like you're sitting on an island with the sea all around you. And so look out now at this sea of mist and feel the energy of the Tor beneath you, the energy of this magical Tor with its caves of crystal beneath, deep beneath. Do you feel the energy of the earth rising up into you? And you feel the energy of the wide sky flowing down into you, meeting the energy of the earth within the center of your being. And then you start to see the sun rising over the mist on the horizon. That wondrous shimmering and the first rays of dawn going straight to your heart, filling your heart with love, with light, with warmth. And this light flows all through your body, all through your aura, your energy field. And you breathe in this light. As you become aware of your breathing, you sense how, as you breathe in, you become more aware of the light flowing in. And you pause in your breathing at the top of the breath. As you breathe in, pause for a moment in that delicious stillness before breathing out. And as you breathe out, the light distributes itself all around your body. And you pause at the bottom of the breath on the exhale. Delicious pause in the stillness at the end of the exhale for a few moments. And then you breathe in and the liquid golden light flows into you. And you pause at the top again. And so let's just do this together in the silence for a little while. Just relaxing into the pause at the top and bottom of the breath. And you become aware now of the sun rising up in its fullness, so you can see the whole disk of the sun now. And you sense the whole group seated around you. More than 300 of us seated on the Tor. And you know, the Tor has these kind of ridges on it, making a kind of natural seating arrangement. And you look around and you see the faces of your friends and colleagues in the dawn light of the solstice. And it's as if you can see the way the light is flowing into their being, and you can see them glowing in this light. And then we can open to the sense of us as a group, the warmth and energy of this group, just being nourished by the sun, supported by the energy of the Tor, just effortlessly being. And then we bring our hands to our hearts, feeling the warmth in our hearts, and asking that there might be peace on earth, that may all of life be protected, may nature be preserved and protected. May our brothers and sisters, the trees, the forests, the woods, be preserved and protected. A blessing on our lives and a blessing on the land. And we place our hands, the palms of our hands on the earth, sending our blessings to the earth. And then with one last look around at the gathering on the Tor, we close our inner eyes and gradually allow the scene to fade from our vision as we become aware of being seated here in front of our screens or tablets, fully present, here and now, on this evening of the 21st of June, 2021, here now, on this solstice day. And stretching our fingers and toes, we open our eyes. And just to say, those of you in New Zealand, I fully accept that it's the 22nd of June for you. You're ahead of us. You're in the future a little bit. Marie is saying, am I the only one who feels suffocated when I stop between in-breaths and out-breaths? My breath is continuous. I can't manage to create pauses between breaths. Okay, Marie. So the thing is, absolutely don't try to force anything. But just wait for a time when you're feeling really relaxed, a good time when you're feeling relaxed. And just pay attention to your breath and just breathe out and then breathe in again. And you'll notice that there's a little turnaround. There's a little moment when you breathe out and then you breathe in again. There's a millisecond, just a moment like that. And that's the moment we're talking about. And you can extend that. It's the same at the top as well. By the top, I mean, when you breathe in, there's just a moment, and then it turns around, then it goes out again. So it's completely natural. And all we're doing in this exercise is we're just extending that moment. And you can just completely take it at your own pace and see if you can extend that moment a little. If it doesn't work for you, that's fine. If it makes you stressful or anxious, then just leave it. It's okay. It doesn't matter. But that's what it is. And if you particularly use the bottom of the breath, when you breathe out, imagine doing it with a little sigh. Just relax into it. Just kind of let go into it. Allow yourself to pause before you come back up again. Like that. And then breathe up again and see if you can get into some kind of rhythm. But really don't worry if it doesn't work for you. Have a lovely week and have a blessed Alban Hefin, the light of the shore, as it's called in the Druid tradition. Many, many blessings. Okay, lots of love. Bye. That's all for this episode of This Magical Life. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to subscribe and share with friends.